Hello everyone and welcome to 1v1 with Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, Celeste Roberts. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Janey Laney, a family-friendly content creator, Facebook gaming partner, former Mixer partner, and YouTuber. Did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think so.
That is quite a resume right there. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for making time for this interview. BU actually had told me about you, and she said, y'all need to interview Janey Laney. She is so good. She's so sweet, and I've been following you and interacting with you on Twitter since the beginning of 2021, and you crack me up.
Oh gosh, I did not know it was BU. That kind of makes sense now. Yes, I love BU. Love B. Oh, well, I do highly appreciate it because we know that this was long awaited. It was long awaited, you know.
Yes.
But I'm glad that we're finally going to be able to connect, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm really
Yes. Because my process is I always reach out to people to see if they're even interested, and then unfortunately, I have a day job, and it takes some time, and life happens. So I just I put people on my little list on my phone, and as time clears up, I reach out to them. And thank you so much. I know you've been very busy and you've had a lot going on lately.
Yeah. The busyness aspect. I don't like being busy. I mean, I like it if it means I'm getting money, but at the same time, I don't like being busy. I like to be able to max and relax and all of that stuff, but it's so difficult to do that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Janey. Would you start as far as you want to go?
All right. So I was a young lad or lass when I first picked up a controller. Yeah, so I really do love games. Even though I play a lot of Minecraft now, I started off playing gosh, I think my first game was a Ronald McDonald game. Like there was a game there. I know everybody is like that never happened. No, it did happen. It was like Ronald's Treasure Island or something. So I started off on a Sega, and made my way to PlayStation. I actually used to play so much Tekken. Like I used to be a big Tekken head. It was mainly I would do Tekken and Kingdom Hearts and Tomb Raider. Those were like my games growing up. I love those games. Why are people wait, how does my phone not work? Okay. Okay.
You're popular.
Anyways, yeah, that just goes over there. So I started really getting into doing a lot with children, as far as being a Girl Scout leader, being a mentor, Sunday school teacher, helping with resumes, a whole bunch of stuff. And I started actually getting more so into that around high school, just really trying to help people out, especially kids that were my age and younger. I just wanted to be able to help them out. And fast forward and got into dog walking as my only job, and then I found out what a stream was, and I was like, this is creepy. People actually do this. I thought it was so nuts. I was like, this is so weird. Why are we just watching somebody? And then I found out about everything that you could do with streaming, and I tried it out one day. I used to moderate for 27 channels on Mixer. Don't know how I managed to do that. I think I was not sleeping. And one day nobody was online, so I decided to find out what it was like to be a streamer so I could be a better moderator. And then people told me not to turn off the stream. So I was just like, all right. So you guys like me? All I had was my Xbox and my phone. Didn't have a webcam. Didn't know how anything worked at all. And I just wanted to connect with people, and I found the need for for there to be better children-driven content, better family-friendly content. Found out what Minecraft was. Uh, that was a whole stint. Finding out that maybe people who look like me, maybe not all play Minecraft. That was a that was a doozy. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Aren't we supposed to talk about that later? Wait, are we talking about
Oh,
that?
there is no time. The topics,
Oh,
the list, it can happen. These are just to help me not look like a deer in headlights
shoot.
as we are talking.
Oh, yes. Well then. Um, but I was introduced into Minecraft a little bit early on into my streaming journey, not knowing what it was all going to culminate to. I realized that, there is a lot of people of color that were not represented in the game. And it was so crazy because, like, I even tried to Google to see if I could find people who even look like me, like, even if they were just a little bit melanated. I was like, well, maybe there aren't any, So I started having it to be my goal to try to seek out and find more. Because every single time I would stream, people would be like, wow, there's a black girl streaming Minecraft, So it was just this whole thing, and I started realizing, I'm like, well, there's a need for family friendly content, a big need for family friendly content, but there's also a need for more Black and POC representation in Minecraft. So here it is now. Mixer ended last year. Fun times. Um,
Oh.
I'm now on Facebook gaming, and I just try to do as much as I can for the community. Try to get in touch with so many people, and yeah, that's the about me. I mean, I have like a dog named Cooper,
Cooper.
uh, who currently is on the floor, so he might not be making a grand appearance. I don't know how his life works, but yeah,
Oh.
that's pretty much me.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I love that you were driven to make more family friendly content and also to show that there needs to be more representation for people of color. And I don't think people realize just how important that is. I know I can't speak to the I'm not a person of color, but I know that I would get excited even as a child. Oh, there's a girl I can play as
Yep.
versus all these guys, which is fine sometimes, but it means so much.
It does. So growing up, like I said, I played Tekken. All right.
Hmm.
So Tekken, anybody who knows Tekken knows that the only black character was Eddie. All right. I want to say he was like Brazilian, um, or like or Caribbean with the Brazilian influence because he did the martial art style. I can never say it right, but it's capoeira. I can never say it right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about because of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about, where
Yes.
Peanut starts taking those classes. I know what you're
Oh
talking.
my gosh. But that was the main black representation. But he had the generic afro. It was just very generically black. So like just growing up, I really wasn't always being able to see that. So, I mean, I played my girl characters like I would go ahead and play June before they killed June off in the Tekken series. That was so dramatic. Um and then after that I started playing Lane, and honestly, like, it just really sucked that I wasn't able to see people like me, but I didn't think about it as a bad thing at first. I thought it was just normal. Um then what started happening is I started noticing how video games were progressing. And I was like, okay, so they have the tech to do so. Why are they not doing it? Like, I've seen some great games, and I was just like, all right, they're just deciding not to do it. That's the only thing that I could see, because I'm like, you guys are able to make these very deeply involved games. Like, I mean, honestly, Kingdom Hearts is one of the examples. All right, Kingdom Hearts, you had so many things going on. There were so many like different kind of drawing styles. Like, I feel like Kingdom Hearts had so much stuff being done on the artistic side, that I'm like, wow, it would just take somebody to know how to really draw, know how to get things together, to go ahead and work on a team, have that idea, and then just have people go ahead and add the colors and everything. So I was just starting to really realize, I'm like, okay, it's not normal that they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So why is there nobody in a game that looks like me? Um, so it's been just a weird, awkward journey. Most of the time when people find games that look like them, if they are of color, it's normally GTA. And that's one of the reasons why I think that so many people of color play GTA. Because I used to like get so annoyed why people want to play GTA on. Because I mean, that's not. I mean, I'm not trying to do like wheat farms. Like, I'm just like,
I'm not
why are you
going
guys playing
break into
this?
cars.
Yeah, like why are you guys trying to play such a stereotypical game? But then I'm realizing, no, it's one of the games that actually wanted to have people of different cultures, and it really hits you upside the head when you seriously think about it, because then you're like, wait, GTA really is one of the only games that actually had all different cultures in it. So people were drawn to it. I mean, of course, there's some people who are drawn to doing criminal activity. I mean, why not do it in a game versus doing it in real life? But there's also people who are just drawn to actually having characters that can look like them, even if it's just with color. So that really did like put an impact on me, because I was just like, man, it would be great just to wake up one day, play a game, and you get to actually like envision yourself
Mm-hmm.
inside of that game, because you could at least have somebody who, even, I mean, they could look like you, or at least look like they could be related to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it is very important. And I think especially during this time of the pandemic, kids need to know that they are wanted in the video game space. So the fact that kids, they play Animal Crossing, right? A lot of kids play Animal Crossing. The fact that they get to be the skin color that they are, and they get to, mess around a little bit with the hair and stuff, it kind
Mm-hmm.
of like puts another sense of immersion into it, especially because you can't always just see your friends. So I think that representation, it plays a valid part in a lot of people's lives, regardless of how old you are, regardless of when you started gaming. But especially during this pandemic, it helps as a coping mechanism, that you could actually see yourself in the game, because you could see yourself being awesome, battling things, hanging out with other people. Like, you can really feel like you're in there. So yeah, representation is very vital.
I think I like that you were talking about Animal Crossing, and as you were speaking, I was thinking about The Sims, for example. I don't know if you were ever a big
Oh
Sims
no, I
player.
was not. I Are
It's
we allowed to
okay.
be candid here? We're
You,
gonna be candid.
it is.
Okay,
You can talk about whatever you want. This is your
cool.
time to shine.
So about The Sims. So first and foremost, I've never been a big Sims fan. I think I've only played one Sims game, and that was on my DS.
Hmm.
And that was Sims Survival Island. So, but I've never been a big Sims fan, because of the fact that they don't speak anything near English or any language, and it always bothered me. I don't,
Oh yeah,
it
the
just was,
Simlish.
yeah, it was just noise, and that, like, it always bothered me. It really did make me cringe. Um, it was just like, why are they doing this? But another thing was that I'm not big on all simulation games. Um, because things in a lot of simulation games go not how I want them to. Um,
Mm.
and so the last time I tried Sims, which was probably like a year or 2 years ago, I was on the Xbox, and my sim wanted to woohoo. And I was like, nope. But it did anyways, and it got stuck in the bed. Everybody was
Ooh.
cracking up laughing. I shut the game off because it was stuck for like 30 minutes. 30 minutes of me like clicking all the buttons, and it wasn't like the game was paused. No, just didn't want to get up. I'm like, ew. Like, it was just like so raunchy, and I was like, well, guys, this is happening.
Ooh,
So
awkward.
yeah, so there's the weird part of simulation that I really don't like. Like, it's like I don't need total real life simulation. I kind of like a little bit of a fantasy aspect. I kind of like a little bit of like maybe an objective aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, there's that. And then also, I mean, I've pointed out to several people, Sims, like what SimCity came out, what, 89 or something like that? The first
Wow.
Sims came out, yeah, about like 89, and it's now 2021. Okay. It took them so long just to even attempt to try to do um have black people represented in their game, having Asian people represented in their game. It's taken so long, and they don't even bother to do it right. So
Mm-hmm.
I never felt an actual connection to The Sims because I just always saw that like whenever they would have somebody who was black, they always looked ashy and just disgusting, and that was just it was just never for me. So I never really got into Sims at all. I don't when people play The Sims, I don't really feel anything. I feel bad because my best friend Munchkin, she loves The Sims, like loves The Sims. She has made characters of me, I think twice. But either way, when she's playing the game, I don't feel a real sense of immersion that I'm interested in. So that's why I just never got into Sims. It just never did it for me. It was just always a game that I just never really cared for. But there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of amazing things with it. Ebonic Sims and Mira. They are two women who are on the Twitch platform, now newly verified on Twitter. They actually make custom content, especially for women of color. Like they have nice hair packs, skin packs, actual facial features, and so they are definitely working on everybody else's immersion that I cannot get into because I just don't like the game. I don't know. I'm sorry, Sims, if you guys are watching. I
They're
just don't
always
like
watching.
it. But yeah, so that's how the Sims thing plays out for me.
No, I appreciate that. I like hearing other people's perspectives because I don't really hear that from other people. I always have been curious because I have seen in different forums, hey, I wish The Sims would step it up. It's 2019, it's 2020,
Yep.
it's 2021. So thank you for sharing that. And it's so easy to get lost in the silly memes and everything. But hey, if you're gonna do this, let's do it right. How about
Right,
that?
right. Exactly. Or and some people they'll say was just a game. Well, if it's just a game, then why depict only one type of person? Like
Mhm.
I'm fine if everybody wants to be a whole entire green alien and all of that stuff, then that's fine. But you start noticing the schism when you realize that even though it is just a game, they're working on only certain type of people being represented than others. That's the thing. And I feel like that's how it is for a lot of stuff. Like a lot of times we're just asking for equal. Like just make it equal. You don't I mean if your goal is not to represent people, and stuff like that, then just don't represent anybody. Just
Mhm.
make it an equal playing field. But every single time, a lot of these video game companies do this to us, it kind of hurts because it's like it's not it's being done on purpose. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about how many excuses get made. It's being done on purpose because I know that they have the artistic ability. I know that they have the mindset. And I know that they know what a black person looks like, regardless of whether or not it's on the internet or whatever. And then another thing that I always think about is video games, right? So you have programmers, devs, you have the artists, you have all of these people. They live and breathe technology, meaning that they're always on the internet. They may not always be on Twitter, but they're always on the internet of some kind. There's no excuse as to why they've never seen a person of color in order to make them, right? Even if you go as far as to want to use like celebrities, okay? If you wanted to go ahead and have everybody look like Beyonce, that would be, I mean, that wouldn't represent all the black people, but that would be at least you did somewhat of a job. right? So I think that like a lot of times when we are talking about representation, we're not trying to make everything about us, but what we're saying is that, all right, if you guys do need help, admit that you guys need help and we can help you. We can give you the resources so that you guys can be fair to everyone. And that's kind of just how that plays out, just fairness.
Oh, wow. That is so powerful. And I wish people wouldn't be so scared to reach out and ask questions. Don't make assumptions. Ask people.
Right, right.
So, who are some of your favorite people of color and Black video game characters, or movie characters, book characters, anime, anything?
You okay, okay. Funny thing is I actually don't watch a lot of black shows. And a lot of people have said this. They're like, how do you not watch a lot of black shows? I was like, look, I grew up watching Frasier. Okay.
You're a girl after my own heart. I do love
I'm a
Frasier.
big Frasier fan. I really am a huge Frasier fan. It's actually kind of weird. And a huge Seinfeld fan. Very awkward. I love Parks and Rec and I love The Office. But I do have like other things that I've watched, like okay, like The Cosby Show. And I know it's so controversial. I don't care. Best show ever. I hands down, I loved it so much. A lot of the character dynamics were so great because I never felt attacked. Um because what a lot of people don't understand, so this is one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of black TV shows, is because there's a lot of colorism that goes on. Um, and I hate hearing black people belittle other black people because of their skin like tone. Because I'm like, and we're all in the same boat. At the end of the day, nobody likes any of us. So it's like, how are you going to go ahead and put in an extra layer of hate on somebody else just because of their skin tone? So that's one of the reasons why I never fully got into a lot of black television. Um, a lot of people have like said things like, why haven't you watched this movie? Why haven't you seen this show? And that's one of the reasons why, is because like a lot of black television, a lot of black movies center around colorism, and it's hurtful. So I would rather watch um a white show. I mean, people could disagree, but I don't care because I don't. Yeah, Seinfeld was lit. Okay, right. Nobody could ever take that away. But I really do love, like I said, the Cosby Show. When it comes down to black characters, there's this video game called Spiritfarer.
Mhm.
It's an indie game, and the main character is a protagonist, and she is black. Like, I was so amazed, like so amazed. She's black, and her goal in the game is to help the spirits cross over by pretty much, tending to their petty needs, because they are a petty group that are on a boat. I don't know how she dealt with it, because the whole entire time I'm like, you just need to kill off all of them. Just kill them all. I was looking for the kill option. I was just like, what is this? But I love her because it was just great to see a person of color in a positive light, being an actual protagonist, and speaking words of encouragement and just being like pretty much helping. That was like really, really awesome for me to see. Um, Other characters, I'm trying to think of other characters. Um, when it comes down to TV, Uh, I'm still on the fence of whether or not Brock on Pokemon was black. I've had this conversation with multiple people. We don't know. We we, we don't know. But we're just going to count him, and like, at least he's a person of color. Boom, there we go. But yeah, I really do enjoy him a lot, because he was just like so funny and so goofy. Um, but yeah, it's a very picky thing when it comes down to black characters, because you always want to see an awesome black character, but then you don't want them to be stereotyped and
Mhm.
things of that nature. I really do love oh gosh, there are so many people. Like say for instance, well, she's not black, but she was a character of color, Taina, and there used to be a show on Nickelodeon named Taina, and Taina was Latina, and she would get into all types of shenanigans, and it was so much fun. Like it was just so cool. There was so much culture going on. I loved it. Then of course you have Raven, when she was in That's So Raven, and she would like just make the looks, and then like have her visions and stuff like that, and then her visions would like not be what the full story was, so she would like have a whole bunch of hijinks just because she had visions that were not complete. So like I love like things like that, because I'm like, wow, like it's like I'm seeing a black person, I'm seeing a person of color just hanging out, being themselves. And I love that. Then on PBS, there was a show called Maya and Miguel, and that was about brother and sister who were Hispanic, and they would just teach people different words. They would get into all types of adventures, and just like really set a great style of a show for me. So I mean I
Yeah.
have like just multiple areas. Keenan and Kel, everybody knows Keenan and Kel, all that. Like those shows were great. Like to see all of just like children, young adults really hanging out and having fun, and their skin color not being anything that separates them was like the best. Those were some of like the best things that I was able to witness, because it wasn't that they were trying to erase that they were a different culture. It was just the fact that, I mean, at the end of the day, we are all, different cultures, but we can still get along with each other. We don't always have to make this a negative thing about race. If you are a different culture, if you're a different race, different skin tone, whatever, you are still a person and you still count. So we're not ever trying to eliminate any cultures. Sometimes you just want to say, hey, we are all people. Let's just hang out and just do as people do. So that's that's how my media life, how my entertainment life has gone.
I love that so much. And I I like that you brought up the Cosby Show because this is my personal opinion. I know it's hard to do. Sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist. I know
Right.
some people might come at me now that I've said that, but
Oh well.
but I remember that was such a powerful show, as you know, as you've just stated. And I remember reading about the Cosby Show. There was a black actor or actress at the time, forgive me, it's been such a long time, but they said, I was so intrigued that I saw this gentleness in a family on TV. These
Yes.
people look like me, and they're doctors, lawyers, they're successful, and they're not, they're not yelling, they're not talking about a lot of negativity, they're not hitting their children. And you think about, okay, so as adults we're taking that in, but imagine, and you being a family friendly content creator, imagine what children are taking
Yep.
in. And I used to, I mean, I know Bill Cosby has the cloak has come off, but focusing just on the show, I remember, I just remember being so calm. I loved how the family interacted. And I loved that even though the parents were so successful, they were still dealing with everyday problems like everyone
Right.
else. And I think I don't know if it's the youngest girl, but she's saying we wouldn't have this problem if we weren't rich. And I think he tells her, you are not rich. Your mother and I have money, but you
Right.
have not. Just, and I know that sounds maybe trite, but I remember that like the wheels started turning in my head because I've been around people in my lifetime who flaunt their parents' money, but it's like, no, you're not the one who worked for that.
Exactly. Yes, and I think that with the Cosby Show, it did put something different on TV. Now, mind you, I do like a lot of older black shows like 227, um Sanford and Son, you
Yeah.
know, all of that stuff. I do love it, but what the Cosby Show did is they put an actual black family dynamic, a positive black family dynamic that not a lot of people either grew up in or not a lot of people actually get to see, and they actually made black parents successful, and not successful drug dealers, not successful strippers, but actually successful in fields that help other people and successful in fields that are accepted by other people. Like people just don't know how crazy it was to see doctor, a black doctor on the screen, and like actually having a family and it not being a totally broken family. He wasn't out there cheating on everyone. Like it brought in such a big dynamic that nobody had ever fully seen before, and it was still funny without having to have a bunch of cussing. Like it was still a really really funny show. Like I still laugh at it now because it's hilarious. Like and it was just so great to see that a lot of people were inspired by it for so many years, still inspired today. And I think it is something where we do have to sit back and really think to ourselves, what do children consume?
Mhm.
Because what children consume is what they're going to put out in the future. So that's why, like, with me being a family friendly content creator, I'm constantly thinking to myself, how am I presenting myself? How am I talking to people? Because that's going to be reciprocated, maybe not back to me, but maybe to somebody else. So I have an actual responsibility to carry myself in such a way to make sure that I'm hitting my mark on things I want to do, because children are watching at all given times. Even there's even adults who look up to me. They're watching. They're trying to see, you know, in what ways they could be better people. So I have to take it as a responsibility as a content creator, especially since I'm putting myself in front of people. Nobody asked me to do this. You know, I'm putting myself in front of people. I have to make sure that I'm on my A game. I have to make sure that I'm thinking about the type of content I'm putting out. And you know, me as a black content creator, I'm hitting a very non-properly represented demographic. And I need to make sure that, you know, I'm doing what I have to do. Now, some people will say that's not fair, that black people always have to be you know, they always have to try to be the proper ones and everything like that. But I'm originally from California, so I kind of can't help it. Uh, but then also, it's just like, I want to be that representation because we don't have a lot of it. So I'm proud of it. And I'm proud for, you know, for people coming into my chat and being like, "Wow, you're so nice to me," and all that stuff. Like, this is who I am, and I'm glad I'm being accepted for who I am, but I'm glad that I'm actually able to make a difference. So that's, you know, something really big for me when it comes down to the TV shows growing up. Now I'm my own TV show. I'm literally running the show. This is the Janey show. So, however I want to run it is how somebody else may end up perceiving me in the future. They may end up growing up and treating people the same way I treated them. So, I do really think that when it comes down to the type of stuff I consumed on TV, I'm kind of like, kind of showing that off while I'm streaming. So, it's important.
It really is. And you brought up a good point about the burden on your shoulders of being that representation. Would you like to talk about that a little bit more? Like
Yeah.
this dynamic of, I don't like, because I've read about it and I've heard about it, and I'd love to
Yeah.
hear your perspective.
It's there's a big burden for black people to be great representations of the black race. It's kind of hard because when people see a black person, they assume that they stand for all black people. And that may not always be the case. In fact, it's not always the case. because I'm my own individual person. You know, there could be another black person. Matter of fact, if I had a twin, they could act the exact opposite. But when they see a black person, for whatever reason, that black person represents all black people to them. It's really trippy. And not saying it's just in regards to black people. There are actually like black people that when they meet a white person that they assume that that white person stands for all white people. It's a really scary thing though. That could be very dangerous because if I'm not careful and I offend somebody, then they can possibly think that that's what all black people are like. So it's a very, very, very scary position to be in because it's not necessarily a position that we elect to be in. As a black person, as a Hispanic person, you don't elect to be a representation. You are a representation because every single thing that you're doing, somebody is monitoring and deciding what they feel about the whole entire race because of you. And it could be very scary. I mean, I don't mind because it's just kind of like, well, hopefully I'm the first one that you met. So maybe I can help shed some light. But at the same time, it's still really nerve-wracking because it's like it's not fair. Like I should be able to be my own person because I even do get comments which people think are compliments and I have to tell them no, that's not a compliment. I get comments like, "Wow, you're such a nice black person."
Can't you
You're
just
the
be a nice
nicest,
person?
right, right. You're the nicest black person I ever met. And I'm just like sitting here like, okay, well, if that's the case, pay me like it. I don't know what to tell you, but it's like you're putting me into a position where I'm now representing a whole entire race. I'm kind of concerned. Don't base everyone that looks like me off of just how you have your interaction with me. I would love it if you wanted to get to know other black people and you want to go in with like no opinions and you just want to get to know people. That's great. But at the same time, don't forcefully put me into a representation spot just because I'm like this enigma that showed up in your feed just because one day you see me and I might look darker than everybody else, don't make me that representation. But because I know I am the representation, I know it, I understand it, I decide to take responsibility. And I decide to say, all right, since I know I'm the representation, let me go ahead and represent the things that are important to me because I know that they will help people in the future. So it's kind of like a two-edged sword when it comes down to the representation because a lot of it is forced. A lot of people don't ask to be a representative. Like there's people who just want to live their lives. They don't want to be seen as a member of the black race. They don't want that. It's not a title that you want. Because if it's a title, when you have that title, every single thing that you do gets scrutinized. It's very scary, very dangerous. So that's something that I think people need to realize. Even people who are Asian, mind you, okay, there are various Asian countries, meaning that there are various Asian cultures. So if you meet a Chinese person, that person is in no way a huge representative for the whole Asian cultures because there's multiple cultures. You cannot meet a Chinese person and think that every single Asian person is going to be the same. You can't. But a lot of times that's what people do. They
That's a great
meet
point.
they meet somebody and then they just assume that everybody that looks like that is the same. And like I said, it could be very dangerous because you might meet somebody who just has their own agenda and, maybe they just feel like being a criminal. That doesn't mean everybody else is a criminal. But when people see non-white people, they choose to cling to one person as a representation, as a representative. So there are some people who watch my stream that they don't have any other black friends. They don't. I'm literally the only black person that's ever entered their home through my stream. Yeah,
Nice.
so and they let me know about it and I'm not going to say, yeah, go around and find more Black people because, that might not come off as well. But I let them know, don't be afraid to like reach out to other people. Like, don't make me your only source of a Black person, because there's other people who are not like me. There's other people who may love 18 plus content all the time. You may blend well with them. So it's just kind of scary sometimes being the representation, because a lot of times I don't call for it. I don't even want it sometimes, because I'm like, I don't want you to hold me up to this high pedestal, because if I am not doing something that I need to do, you are then going to fault the rest of the Black people. So it's trippy. It's a trippy thing.
And it shouldn't just be on the burden shouldn't just be on your shoulders and other people's shoulders. It has to meet you have to meet people halfway. Other people
Right.
need to realize, have some common sense. Hey, this is a person.
Yeah.
This
Most people, a person means a white person, a Black person means a Black person. We are still There are still people that still, for whatever reason, they pick parts of history to hold on to. And one of the parts of history that I always find to be interesting is the fact that a Black person, including an Asian person, um, a Hispanic person, in America, predominantly, they were not always seen as people. Matter of fact, one Black person was not seen as a whole person. It was law, I can't remember through the years, but it was law that a Black person stood for three-fifths of a person. A Black male was three-fifths of a person, not even a whole person. And this went through with politics, this went through with economics. And it went through with politics so that when it came down to the election times and stuff, like how many people represented a state and everything, when they would tell people, well, every Black person is only three-fifths of a person, it tried to work out politically so certain states wouldn't have a certain amount of representation. And it's really trippy. It's like, what the heck? Like first everybody was a slave, but then when you decided to say, okay, you guys aren't slaves anymore, well, you're still not a human. You're still not a full human. So there's just a lot with it. And I feel like the more that we have these conversations, the more we actually just want to reach out to each other, it will get better.
I hope so. And I don't know if I've expressed to you, I actually live in the South, and I live in Louisiana.
Oh.
And yeah, I
Oh.
live
Oh.
about an hour from New Orleans. So,
Okay.
which Southern Louisiana, it's kind of a mix of typical Southern stuff, but also its own thing with all the different influences. And recently, where I live, there was a massacre
Oh.
in the during it was a slave not it was after slavery, and there was a sugarcane riot because the Black workers were unhappy with how they were being treated. I'm reading the book about it right now, and we weren't taught that in my history class when we were talking about the Civil War in the 1800s. But within the last 5 years, someone sat down and did the research and interviewed the descendants of the survivors. And we need to have these conversations. We need to talk about the ugly parts of our history. And
Right.
I think that's so important, and we need to love one another. I mean, you and everyone listening has seen what 2020 and even before 2020. Look, you think we would be better, but it's and I've had conversations. I have some Black neighbors, and whenever I bring them cookies or just hang out, I asked one of them, I'm like, what is it like living here? I just have to know, because he's a Black male, and he's like, I appreciate you like asking me. He said, he's like, I'm just trying to live my life like everybody else, raise my family, go to work, and but I still do think these conversations are important.
Yeah, and sometimes it is a little bit off-putting when people ask stuff, because it's kind of like, why are you asking? And then,
Oh, yeah.
and it's still something where we still have our guard up,
Yeah.
because there are so many companies who are performative, so many people who are performative, so many people who are ready to take advantage, that sometimes, like, And it's sometimes it's the Black people trying to take advantage of the other Black people. That's a whole nother story. Oh, whole nother story. But like a lot of times, as a person of color, like we do have to question why somebody wants to be nice because of the things that we've seen. And always let people know, like, okay, it's fine to have your guard up, but understand when somebody's just reaching out. Um, and then also don't try to hold people with things that they didn't do. Like I can't hold you just because you're white. I cannot hold you towards being, a slave owner. I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. As far as I'm concerned, you didn't have any slaves. Now, if you have any slaves, that's none of my business. I would never know. They could be underneath your floorboards. I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure that they don't. But like it's that weird little thing where sometimes people are holding the wrong people accountable. I think that we still all have a lot of accountability with our present actions, and we do have the accountability of teaching those past actions and why they were wrong. But I cannot sit up here and really hold somebody accountable for something that did not happen to me directly, first and foremost, and something that they didn't directly do. Like, I've told people all the time, shoot, I don't even know if I am a product of slavery. I don't think I am. I don't know. I like try to do as much research as possible. I wouldn't know. Um, so I think that it works on multiple aspects, but we're never going to get to everyone feeling that way until we start having these conversations and stop trying to hide everything. Stop trying to blow off how people feel, because some people are just hurt and they just want to be heard. And I think that's one of the issues that we have a lot, is that a lot of times we want to talk over each other instead of talking to each other. So when we decide to not talk to each other, it does make me question a lot of things. It makes me question, why can't I have this conversation with you? Like, like, why are you hiding it? Like, so many people get so scared to talk about it. I'm like, yo, you must have a secret. Like, there must be a reason why a lot, like there's a lot of white people who don't feel comfortable with talking about racism. And I'm like, why? Why are you so uncomfortable? What makes you uncomfortable? Where you're the demographic that's wanted. You're the demographic that's always getting the spotlight. You're the demographic that really has nothing to worry about, but you're uncomfortable talking about it. I'm the demographic that if they just like somehow decide to Google me first before they talk to me, they could decide to say no. I'm the demographic that sometimes does have to question, do I want to have on a webcam? Do I even want people to even know I'm black while I'm playing this game, because I'm going to get called the N-word, which has happened several times. I was once streaming and was told to drink period blood because I was an N-word and to die. So it's just like, we're dealing with all this stuff, but then there's white people who feel uncomfortable about talking about racism. I'm like, please, explain to me your discomfort. Like, explain to me how racism has offended you so much. Because it can't offend you, because I'm not pointing fingers, but I think that there's a lot that we need to learn from. And I do have several questions. There's a lot of questions that I have. I even want to ask racist people questions. They never want to talk to me, unfortunately. It's kind of difficult to secure an interview with them, but I have so many questions because I just want clarification. I want to know, is there something that I have done directly? Is there something that I can help with? Is somebody racist simply because they just had a seriously bad traumatic experience with the black person, with the Hispanic person, or with somebody else? Like, was it just that bad of an experience that it taunted you? So I believe that these kind of conversations need to continue, but I think that the only way for them to continue is for us to stop being so offended to talk about them. Like, why is racism taboo? Like, people could talk about sex all day and could talk about a whole bunch of raunchy stuff that should be taboo, that I don't want to hear about. But then something just as simple as talking about racism is just so taboo, and then becomes this political thing, and it's like, Like people wonder why we want to talk about it because we're trying to figure out why not. Like if it's been law before. Racism has been law before. Racism is still kind of law in so many hidden ways. And it's just like, why don't you guys want to talk about stuff that you guys are okay with? Because a lot of people are okay with racism, but they get offended when you talk about it. They're okay with seeing how black content creators are really heavily mistreated and are not paid their compensation as they should as their white counterparts. They're okay with seeing that, but they're not okay with somebody asking about it. So it's a thing. I mean, I commend you for asking your neighbor. I commend you for asking your neighbor because I know that that's probably something that is kind of difficult to ask because you want to ask it in not a racist way, but you still got to ask your question. Some black people just want to be offended. Like sometimes I just have to think to myself, okay, they're just asking the best way that they can ask because there's no really non-awkward way to ask what is it like being black here. There's like how
Yeah.
else are you supposed to ask? You gotta ask. So
And we had developed a good neighborly relationship before then, and we just started talking. It wasn't like walk over, bring cookies. What's it like being black in
yeah.
southern Louisiana? It was more just like it was a natural
Mhm.
progression, just talking about how we all have to take care of one another. And he said it is kind of difficult sometimes where he works because he's an engineer and he's the
Mm.
first black one hired at this company. And sometimes the people around him will assume that everybody in this room has the same political opinions or religious
Mm.
opinions or whatever. And he's like, it's like I'm not getting into it
It's
at work. I
it's
just want to do my job.
it's really crazy though because another reason why I gear my content towards family friendly is because of STEM that is now called STEAM because they added art into it. Yay, finally. And so that is yeah, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Okay, this is a very heavily gate kept level of learning and teaching. A lot of people of color don't get the opportunity at all. They will have to pay for the opportunity in college. They will have to pay for it with vocational school, but it's usually not widely taught at a grade level to children of color. It's not publicly accessible all the time. So for your neighbor to be the first black person hired as an engineer, that's crazy because you don't get to see enough black engineers. That that's something that is a very difficult thing for some people to understand that even from the level where we go into grade school, it's you already feel the disconnect because when we start grade school as a black person you're taught that all black people were slaves and that any black person that did try to do anything good in the world probably got assassinated. That's what you're I mean, of course you have your Rosa Parks, which they like to downplay that story, which it was not a story because it actually happened. They lightly touch on the Ruby Bridges. They have their standard that they give the Martin Luther King Jr. All right, they only give them surface level things, but they don't talk about the men and women who had to battle. Oh gosh, it was so crazy. Her first name is Hattie, I think. I cannot remember her last name, but they don't talk about the fact that a lot of women were sterilized. A lot of women of color were
Yes.
sterilized at a young age, and it still happens now by form of trying to get young girls on birth control really quick. They do it in the black communities where they say, oh, yeah, it helps with acne. It helps with this, that, and the third. It helps control your periods. But having birth control at such a young age actually pits you for being a higher percentage of sterile in the future. And so we're literally getting fought against, and minorities are being fought against on so many angles. And that's why, having proper representation is important, because when you have proper representation, you have people who are put up into a spot where they can vocalize these issues and where people should respect them enough to listen. It really sucks because when you are at ground level, people don't want to listen to you. They always look up to the ones that they want to listen to. Well, when none of those people are minorities, that means that no minorities really have anybody else to look up to. We can only talk to each other and that's it, but we can't be in these positions to make a change. So that when there's a minority that's in the position, hope and pray that they're not just trying to be the good slave and not fight the good fight, because there's a lot of people in high positions that are of color that are just being good slaves. Like, they won't do anything for anybody else. They just want to say, okay, I'm glad I'm here, glad to be here. I'm not going to lose my position by talking about the stuff I need to talk about. But no, then you have people who are at the top who are like, okay, cool. So now that I'm here, let's talk about some things and make some changes. So it's very important for us to have the proper representation and to make sure that the people who we are, who are in the representation spot want to be there, because when they want to be there, they're more inclined to actually speak on our needs, speak on the things that we're going through, and try to make a difference.
Oh, that is so awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that. I hope people are really listening and really
Yeah.
digesting everything you're saying.
I know it's supposed to be about video games. Sorry, guys. My bad, bros.
It's about you, Janey. It's about you and whatever you'd like to talk about. But video games are a reflection of life, and this is
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is true.
we can't deny that.
Yeah.
But did you want to talk about Minecraft? Because I was
Yeah.
looking through your streams, and Minecraft is probably your most prevalent one. I love the Valentine's Day one, the little bees. Oh my goodness, that was the cutest little thing.
Yes. So Minecraft is a really, really great game. When I first saw it, I thought it was stupid. Matter of fact, I told people it was stupid. I said, who would want to play this stupid game? And the next thing you know, they're like, oh, yeah, try it. Man, I think I have about 7,000 hours now. I've been playing it for 3 years. And I'm on it all the time. Like, there's just so many things that you could do in it. You could play like all sorts of different ways. And I hate when people ask me about what Minecraft is about, because I'm like, you just need to experience it. Because oh, excuse me. Okay, yawn. Because what ends up happening is that you have different maps where you could actually do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, there are straight zombie maps where it's just waves and waves of zombies. We did a Spanish map the other day where we learned Spanish. There's dinosaur maps. There's so many maps that you could get, or you could decide just to play the game at its base and do survival, or you could do creative. And there's just like, you can make your own map if you want to. So many things could be done in this game. I can't even explain what it's about. If you want to go through the survival route, then I guess you could say it's about grinding up your gear in order to defeat the ender dragon. If you like end game stuff, by the way, if you guys like Minecraft, I never beat the ender dragon. I never tried. I think I did 2 times. It was very, yeah, no. It was just so much and so deeply involved. It took all my energy. Like, as soon as we beat it, I went to sleep. And then the second time, I think I was sleeping during the battle. It's just so much with the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon is like crazy boss. And then you have stuff that happens after. But like the game in itself, like, just so much creativity. And I'm glad I found it, because I found a game that has been around for over a decade. Okay, Minecraft has been around for over a decade. It's one of the most popular games in the whole entire world. And that's through all of the downloads. That is through even just like pop culture. that's through so much stuff, and it's changed the lives of so many people. There are people who grew up playing it and now they're on the verge of being engineers. They want to be scientists. They want to do a lot of things because you can actually do engineering in Minecraft. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you could do it. This called redstone. So redstone, what a lot of people think about is automation. It allows you to essentially put electricity into your builds. It allows you to put more automation to the point where you could walk into a room and the lights turn on when you step in. You don't have to hit a switch. So there's like a lot
Oh.
that Redstone does, and it goes deep into engineering. And I find that to be amazing that you can actually learn in a game without trying to learn. You can learn about your real world. When it comes down to the bees, they wanted to actually do an initiative to talk about how bees are important. One of the devs, this is on their YouTube channel, one of the devs actually went to, I cannot remember the name, the official name of the bee place. Oh gosh, I cannot think of what the name is, but they went to an actual bee farm and learned about the bees in order to prepare for them putting bees into the game. Like,
Wow.
yeah, like got into the bee suit
What?
and everything. Learned about the differences between a bee's nest and a bee's hive, which is wild.
Okay,
It's
what's the difference?
actually
Do you know?
so a bee nest is the actual thing that you see, the actual bee thing that you see where they live in the wild. A beehive is actually what we make, which is in these boxes. But we
Oh.
always get it confused because a beehive sounds more like what they actually regularly live in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the technical terms and stuff, but either way, though, it was just so crazy to see him. I did meet him too, and ask them all about the bees.
Where did
Um,
you meet him?
oh, at Minecon.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to meet like a lot of people that work at Minecraft and Mojang and Microsoft directly at Minecon. So to meet him and just to be like, okay, like that's cool. Like you did the bees thing. Like how was that? Like I thought it was really nice. I thought it was really
So
cool.
happy you had that opportunity. That's
Yeah,
outstanding.
yeah. And Minecraft, they've been very welcoming of me. Like I still think it's like really really crazy how I remember in 2018 when I first got into Minecraft, I watched Minecon and I was like, yo, I want to be there next year. And like that was in October. So at about January or February, I had the weird notion to decide to just like message all the devs on Twitter.
You did it. You did it.
I
You
messaged
shall. You
all the devs at Twitter. I was like, how much does it cost to go to Minecon? It's a private event, mind you.
Oh wait. Okay. Okay. Just I want you to tell me all about it.
So Minecon is a private event. Sometimes it's called Minecraft Festival. It just really does depend on what they're doing that year. But Minecon is a private event. That normally when people are watching it, everything's being done in this studio. It's a private event. You have in the crowd, you have a lot of people who make maps, a lot of people who do mods, a lot of people who are in the industry. You have a lot of people who just have money enough and connections enough to go. Um, it's a very private event. And I was so glad when I got the opportunity to go because I was not expecting any of the devs to get back with me. I literally messaged all of them. I went onto the Minecraft website, found out all of their names. Sorry if this is illegal of what I did. I don't think it is. You guys put it out for public record, so nobody at Minecraft get upset, okay?
It's on their
Yeah, it's on your website, all right?
website.
So I decided to find everyone's handle. Mind you, Minecraft also used to stream on Mixer too. I would sit inside of the stream and I was just like just going through, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna put them on a list, because if I put them on a list, then they're all going to know that they're on a list. I'm not going to do that on Twitter. I'm just gonna message them. And I literally copied and pasted a message and sent it to all of them. And it was, hey, my name is Janey. How do I get to Minecraft or to Minecon? Like, how much do I have to pay? And most of them sent me the same thing back. It's a private event. It's a private event. Well, two of them were like, wait, I'll get back to you on this. And since they had known about what my initiative was with Black Minecraft, which is my initiative to have diversity, to talk about diversity in the game of Minecraft, I was returned with an email. I got an email. And basically they were like, do you want to be interviewed at Minecon for your initiative? I was like, excuse you? Do I what? Like, I was just like, I double checked the email. Like, when you get an email, you got to verify who sent it to you. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to see, like, I put her name into searches. I was like, okay, let me just make sure this is right. I just wanted to verify. I was like, yo, am I being duped? Like, I was just so amazed. And that's when I like started to really realize that, I'm not crazy. Other people understand where, at least somewhat of where I'm coming from, even if they're not in my space. They understand that I'm not crazy. They understand that I see a problem, but I see how I want to rectify it. And I'm not bashing the game. Like I've told people, I bash. If I ever bash Minecraft, it's literally for mechanics. Okay, I'll never bash the game for anything else besides mechanics. They know how I feel about certain things. But it wasn't that I was ever bashing the game for the lack of diversity and the lack of representation. Wasn't bashing it because I love the game. Like, I really loved the game, and I wanted to share my love of the game with people who look like me, who are who can then stop being afraid of saying, okay, I am a Black person, I'm playing this game, so to be able to get interviewed at Minecon, like at this exclusive thing was crazy. I was in a 5-star hotel and everything. Like,
deluxe treatment.
The hotel lobby was gold. There was gold. I felt like I was in the Sistine Chapel. I was just like, what is this? It was so, oh my gosh. Now, the hallways did remind me of The Shining, and every time I was in the hallway, I was like, red rum, red rum.
Did you see some twins?
I thought that at the end of the hall, there was going to be some twins. But it was a really great hotel. I got to meet people who made the maps that I had purchased. Like, actually sit down with them. We did an escape room and everything together. It was crazy. We had to dig inside of a zombie's body. It was crazy. But yeah, like actually being able to sit down with people who have made millions doing things for Minecraft, to actually like be able to talk to them like they're regular people, and for them to be like, yeah, I know who you are, was amazing. I was just so amazed and so grateful, because I'm like, not everybody gets this opportunity. And so every single time, I can have the ability to do anything with Minecraft, I'm just thinking to myself, I know what my purpose is. I know why I'm doing this. I just want for other people to benefit. I mean, with me, look, I'm all for getting free mine coins, okay, and plushies. That's the only thing that suits me. If they want to go ahead and drop me off a care package or some food sometime, I'm fine with that. I don't really need too much. Like, I'm not really interested in too much besides the fact that I want other people to be able to benefit. Like, you know, I just want people of color to be able to freely play the game without being scared of being attacked, without being scared of a lot of things. A lot of times, a lot of people of color on Minecraft don't go into the public lobbies to go do mini games because they are kind of scared by what may go on in the chat. No, you cannot put the N word on Minecraft, but people are nifty, you know. They're
Oh.
nifty. There's jokes. A lot of people who are disabled, they they don't get the proper representation and they get made fun of. I play with a lot of people who do have different disabilities, and it's like just talking with them. They're like, you know, I really love Minecraft, but I just wish that there was more for me and more to protect me. So I love Minecraft. I do. They are working on a lot of things, but it's something where like my love of Minecraft kind of made me understand that instead of being upset at the game for lack of representation, how can I actually just change the game? And like a lot of people are okay with it. I do feel like a lot of people maybe felt like certain things were taboo before I came along, and that's why like a lot of the skins that they had that you could buy did not depict black people,
Huh.
or they just like barely were looking correct. I've noticed, and you know, that's not trying to say that I'm like the best person in the world, but I've noticed that ever since I have come along, I have been seeing more skins for black people. When I first started, it took me hours to realize that I had to pay to be black in the game. Like none of the free skins allowed for me to be black. Now they have this character creator um, where you can actually create your character on the game, and you could be whatever color you want to be and all of that. So, you know, I have noticed that you know the game has changed a little, but there's so much progression that's yet to be had because we need to start having the conversations. It's not just okay, well, here we go. You get to be black in the game now. It's not just that because there's still the stigmas, there's still the attitudes, there's still like just even the interactions that are still lacking. So, you know, and that's just from the in game part. What about the content creators? There should be more black content creators for Minecraft. And truth be told, there are some you don't ever hear about them. So that's where Black Minecraft comes into play because we have opened up a server where I'm going to get all of the black content creators who do Minecraft in Bedrock and in Java. We're gonna all end up playing together. I'm going to do some showcasing with them and stuff like that, trying to get their names out there because it's a very, 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 very gate kept community of content creators. But I just want people to know, like, look, we're not here for the gatekeeping. I'm not here for it. I want everyone to get, you know, their I want everybody to be rewarded for their hard work. Like I know one black content creator, he's actually working on a soundtrack for his Minecraft adventures. He
Oh.
has a whole entire series coming out. It's called Stand Up Guy. And he's working on the soundtrack. And I was like, "You're doing what?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm in the soundtrack phase." I'm like, "Why are you doing a whole soundtrack?" Like, but he's making it a whole production. And that's the type of stuff that I feel like does need to be highlighted. Like, why are we not talking about this? He's talked about it on Twitter. You know, why are we not boosting this? So there's a lot. Like I said, I love Minecraft. Minecraft is a great game, but I really do appreciate Minecraft and Mojang as a whole for allowing me to make an impact. Um, because at the end, they did allow me to make an impact. They did because they didn't have to do what they've been doing. They didn't have to even entertain my DMs because I was definitely sliding in everybody's DM. They did not
I
have
love
to entertain that. You know, they didn't have to interview me at Minecon. They didn't have to do a lot of things. They didn't even have to recognize me whatsoever. But I decided to go ahead and use my voice because I really do love the game. And I think that that is important when we do call for representation in these video games. we need a call for representation without belittling the game. I know that that's hard for some people to take in, but when you still love the game and you want to see change, that's different than you just thrashing the game down. That's why I can't speak fully on The Sims because I don't like the game. So I can't say, I can only say but so much, but because I don't like the game, I'm not going to play it. I notice what I notice. I notice lack of representation, but it's not my space to be highlighted in that sector because I don't even like the game. So if I were to like go into the Sims community and start talking and I become a representative, that's a poor representation because I don't like the game. We need to
Mhm.
highlight people who are loving the game and want to see change, not just people who are just like belittling the game. And I think that that's one of the things that really does drive me, because I used to take so much heat for streaming Minecraft, a lot of it, and it wasn't just coming from one type of people. Like a lot of people would be like, "Why are you black and playing this game? You should be playing Call of Duty. You should be playing NBA 2K. You should be playing GTA. Why not go do Fortnite? They have black characters in Fortnite. Like those are the type of comments that I've gotten over the years." And I'm just sitting here like, yo, I really just love the game. Like, even if there's a lack of representation, I love the game and I want to change that lack of representation. I want it to be a normal thing. So, you know, that's pretty much where that boils down to.
I wish I could have been you when I was younger with all this courage and just conviction, and you have such a glow about you, Janey, just this comfort and this confidence, and this is who I am. And you can take it or leave it. And I wish more people, I, it warms my heart to know that kids can look up to you, and adults.
Yeah.
Adults need role models too.
Yes. I mean, it took a okay, to be honest with you, it took a long time. So when I was on Mixer, I did not add the webcam until I hit over 4,000 followers. Because me and my friend Munchkin, we were talking, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so weird. Like, if I'm gonna go along with Black Minecraft and if I'm gonna talk about representation, I need to show representation. So I need to get over all of my fears. I need to get over the weird little self-esteem things. And not saying that they are very minor, but compared to what I want to do, they are minor. Um, I do think that, self-esteem is very important for us to always talk about and for us to always recognize. But at the same time, sometimes our self-esteem needs to be put on the back burner when we are just trying to embark on something different. Like, there are a lot of things I need to get over, with my self-esteem in order to progress. So sometimes I have to, and it don't take this the wrong way. It's not like I really enjoy being on camera. I'm It's whatever. But sometimes I have to let that little sliver of fear, doubt, and just like not really feeling it. Sometimes I have to just like put that to the side and just think
Mm-hmm.
to myself, all right, for the greater good, I need to add this camera. The first time I added the camera, it was like the shock heard around the world on Mixer. People were coming in because, mind you, I used to mod for so many channels. So when somebody said, "Oh no, Janey has a camera," they put it on Twitter and people started coming into my stream. I was like trying to move out the way. I wanted to turn it off, but I didn't know how to turn off the camera. Like, there was so much stuff. I was just like, "Don't see me." But it was kind of difficult, especially because I'm like black. So it's like, "No, you're there. We see you." So it was nuts. But like, that's just what I'm thinking about though, is that like a lot of people do see me as a role model. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, like, it's if this is what I'm going to do, I need to add the camera. So being able to get partnered on Mixer, which I literally got partnered on Mixer when I only had a phone and I had my Xbox, did not have a computer. Yeah, didn't have anything like that. And literally my phone was how I read chat, because everybody knows that that Mixer chat that popped up on the screen was very delayed. So I read my chat on my phone, And I remember getting partnered and thinking to myself, wow, going into the partner Discord, and I'm sitting up there asking about how to set up Scotty bot to do certain things, and people are like, Scotty bot? Oh, we don't use that. We use this. Why are you using? And I'm like, I'm on Xbox. They're like, oh, you don't have a PC? No, I don't. But I set up my overlays and everything using my phone and using Internet Explorer on the Xbox. Okay. I set up my overlays, my alerts, and everything, like added music to the stream. I literally was, I would download the music on my phone. I would use an MP3 cutter and everything like that. I was doing, it took me 3 hours though, but I was like, I was doing it. I did all of that stuff, had all of my alerts going, all of my alerts going. And I was just telling people, I'm like, look, I'm proof that you don't need to have the most like expensive setup in order to get anywhere in your content creation. All you have to do is just have the want to do it. Because people know, like, yo, my stream, oh my god, my stream used to be pixelated half the time. Like, it was terrible quality. Plus, I was actually on Wi-Fi too. Like, it just it used to be bad. All right. Like, really bad. But I would still keep going, and I would still average a high amount of people in the chat. And like, there were times when like my headset was broken because I used to go to five and below to get my headsets. So thank God that those days are over. But you know, whatever. So, but those would always be breaking. Like my $5 only went but so far, and like, you know, so like sometimes and this is before I got a mic. Sometimes I would like type into the chat on my phone like, we are doing an ASMR stream. They'll be like, "Wow," I'll be like, because my mic is broke. So you gotta deal with it, you know. So I was literally the little streamer that could. That's what I would call myself, the little streamer that could, because I was just always trying and always crying. Like there was so many times when my stream would go down, I would just be crying. I'd be like, okay, done crying now. Let's try again. You know, so like I've gone through the content creation steps that a lot of people are dealing with. I've gone through having beyond dead chats. Had to do that a couple times because, mind you, Mixer went down. So I did dead chats for a long time and then had to go back to having dead chats again. You know, I've done the whole entire partnership. I've done things with Microsoft directly, with Xbox directly, with Minecraft directly. I've done a lot of these things. You know, I did an extra life hosting at Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. Then after that, help Netflix with one of their little panels. Like I've done a lot of these things, and it's just like when people really see me as a content creator, I'm like, look, I can help as much as I can help. I may not know everything. I may have some resources, but I can tell you that you don't need to think of this as a pipe dream. You can literally make everything happen for you. You know, and I'm not even the richest person in content creation either. I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I probably don't want to be the richest person in content creation, but you know, I still have like so far I could go. So for me being a full-time content creator, I know that there's a lot of eyes on me in several different ways. It's kind of nutty. It's kind of crazy.
So what are some of your future plans?
Oh,
Because when you said you could go so many places, I'd love to know.
well, one of my plans is to gain enough clout, okay? Because you need enough clout to do some things. I don't care what anybody says. Some stuff is just about clout. It really is. But I just want to gain enough of a national and international fan base to the point where I can put Minecraft into the public school system, so that public schools will be okay with using Minecraft Education Edition in order to teach students, especially students who may not learn on the same levels. Like I said, a lot of people I play with have different disabilities. I play with a lot of people who have mental disabilities, but know and understand Minecraft like it's nothing. Just crazy. Like there's a lot of kids who I've played with who they've told me that they're in special ed classes and that they struggle with math a lot. They struggle learning. But then they'll be talking to me saying all this, right? while they're building this really serious piece of architecture and then engineering it to have electricity. And I'm just sitting here like, you're in special ed classes. They're like, yeah, like one person, they're like, yeah, my brain doesn't function right. So I'm in special ed. And I'm like, okay, well, how does that work? They're like, well, I have this big class of kids and some people get violent a little bit. I'm not violent though. I'm like, well, I'm glad that you're not violent. And they're like, but I can't learn with other kids because I have a scar on my head. And I'm like, wow. And just them just telling me about like all the surgeries that they've done. Some of them have never walked a day in their life. Some of them are kind of deemed as vegetables in many people's eyes, but learning that they're using the accessibility controllers in order to play, learning that they're doing everything that they can to play. It's like, wow, like you may not on the standardized scale of intellect that a lot of people like to go by, which make no sense. But on that standardized scale of intellect, you may not even be on there, but you're sitting up here doing a bunch of engineering, a bunch of science, a bunch of technology. Like you're doing all of these things that we actually need in our life to progress, and you're doing it all in a video game. So it's like it's crazy. It's just been so crazy. So that's why I want to put Minecraft into the public school system as a way of doing a lot of good alternative or extra learning. um because they teach coding. Like there's a segment in there that teaches coding, actual coding, teaches kids how to make video games. And that's something that I want to be able to give. So that's one of my biggest plans, is that, and I know it's going to be a process. I know it's not going to be the easiest process in the world. I know I'm going to continue to get rejected, but then there's going to be people who are going to be like, okay, yeah, let's try this out. So that's one of the biggest things. Another thing, so like I had an accident last year. I don't like calling it an accident, but a woman did hit me with her minivan last year, and that had to stop me from dog walking because I've been a full-time dog walker as well. Um, Great money, by the way, if anybody ever decides to get into it. But since I haven't been able to dog walk, I've been thinking to myself, I want to do something with dogs still. So in the near future, very, very near, actually, I do have a dog treat business coming out. So that's one of my non-gaming things that I'm trying to get done because I miss dogs so much, and it's like I would love to be able to walk dogs again, but I can't right now. So it's like, in what ways can I actually help people? Because dog walking, in my opinion, was me helping people who couldn't walk their own dogs or just had enough money to throw at me for me to do it. But like being able to make dog treats, I think it's going to be like really fun. Make little organic dog treats and just things of that nature. So
Oh, I
those are
love
my
that.
plans.
I love that.
Yeah.
And now I did notice on your profile you mentioned Women of Xbox.
Yes.
Is that something you're still involved with?
Yes, in a weird way, because that was a strange happening that started like right after my birthday.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, I think it was like the day after my birthday, or was it the day before my birthday? Anyways, I had a weird birthday, because I was getting emails. Um, so strange. I ended up getting an email from someone that was like, "Hey, Xbox and Minecraft want to send you something." And as per usual, I Googled them because I was like, "What in the mess is this?" Like, and they sent it to the email that's on my Twitter. So I'm like, okay, they have to have been from Twitter. Come to find
Hmm.
out, the person was following me the whole entire time, and I didn't know. But they were like, Minecraft and Xbox want to send you something. So I was like, okay, okay. And then this one girl, Diana, aka Attack on Geek, she then messages me and is like, hey, I want to do an article about you. And I'm like, okay, for what? And she's like, for upcoming Women's History Month and everything like that. So okay, okay. And then like, Xbox sent me a card. The card was actually really cool. It had a mirror in it, and it was basically saying thank you so much for being a great representation of women with Xbox and all of this stuff. And it had a lot of nice words of encouragement. But I was still like, okay, don't know why I got this. Like I'm still thinking to myself, don't understand. And then, Dinah did the article. In her article series was called Women of Xbox. She actually has a whole entire thing called Women of Xbox, where she works to highlight women in Xbox. Like she wants to highlight the ones who are content creators, gamers, everything like that, who are making an impact. So I was like, okay, and that's fine. Then all of a sudden, Xbox hits me with the controller. And I'm like, what is this? And the controller talks. Like it says a lot of encouraging words coming from women who play Xbox, women who help develop things with games. Like it's so crazy. And I know some of the women because I follow them on Twitter. They follow me. And I was amazed. So the Women of Xbox thing it's it's a whole initiative from one person, but it was also a whole initiative from another person because they were not working with each other. Diana was not working with the woman who made this Xbox controller. And that's what I thought was really crazy. Because I'm like, I'm being recognized by Xbox for being a woman of Xbox. And then I'm being recognized by a woman who does a bunch of things through Xbox with her showcasings and everything like that. But I'm being recognized by her. She used to be a Mixer partner and she's also a Facebook partner. But I'm being recognized for the impact that I've had on the Xbox community. I find it to be that's really surreal. Like I was not expecting it at all. And I know a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I didn't know about this," but they knew about the whole entire time. I'm just sitting up there like, "Hey, yo, why do you guys even know my email? I need to take that off my Twitter." Like, I'm just like, why are you guys attacking me like this? So like, the Woman of Xbox it's a whole thing. There's going to be more things coming out of it. On Attack on Geek side, there's going to be like she's doing a lot of things. Um, she's all about the representation though. So when she does things, she's trying to make sure that it's in the best light as possible and just trying to make sure that women can get, their rewards for all the work that they've done. So it's crazy. Women of Xbox it was a crazy thing for me. I just didn't know what was going on. I just felt like attacked with love for no apparent reason. It's like love and attention. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here like, there were others, like there are others you guys could have contacted, but you guys contacted little old me. Like, oh, thanks, so it was crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is outstanding. Well, do you have any advice for anybody who might be interested in streaming and getting started?
Yeah. Don't invest everything. Don't invest everything that you got. Don't do it. Don't do it. And again, don't do it. When you first start, just do it because you want to do it. Just start up because you just want to show people your gameplay if you're going through the gaming arena. If you're not going through the gaming arena, because I don't just play video games, I do whatever the heck I want. If you want to go ahead and be a content creator with your art, be a content creator because you know how to do like funny voices, be a content creator with anything whatsoever. Maybe you're a skateboarder, maybe you're a fitness instructor, whatever. Go ahead and do it. Do it because you want to do it though. Don't do it trying to get rich because you're not going to get rich. I'm letting you know this now. I'm bursting all bubbles. You will not get rich if your motive in the game is to get rich. That's not how it works. Because you're going to face many disappointments. The money is not, it doesn't come fast. For some people, it may, but for the most part, actual sustainability with money does not come fast in this industry. So I would say just whatever you got to work with. Start off with that. You may have to start off being a mobile gamer because you don't have a console or because you don't have a PC. That's perfectly fine. You know, you may have to do IRL stuff because you don't even have a gaming system at all. And maybe you really do want a game, but you're like you just don't have a system at all. Well, start off with just talking to people. It's all about your personality at the end of the day. And believe it or not, okay, people like to give people money. Yeah, they do. Trust me, I'm a product of that. Um, People like to give people money all the time. People like to make sure that people are able to obtain their goals. So, have a goal for why you stream. Ask yourself why you want to be a streamer. Ask yourself why you want to create content. Um, and just go from it. Always let your community know what your goal is. Just always let them know what your goal is, because when you do that, it puts purpose behind your content. It helps you to go further, and it helps you to combat during those times that maybe you don't have a lot of viewers. You may be sitting up there with only one viewer, and that viewer is you because you're also like looking at your own stream. That's fine. You just keep going, and just always know what your purpose is for why you want to do something. Another thing is, don't be afraid of not being able to not being able to level up with your friends when it comes down to content creation. That's a really big thing that a lot of people fall out with their friends about. It's something that discourages people because sometimes their friend is doing better than they are. Sometimes they're doing better than their friend, and it leads to a lot of jealousy. It leads to a lot of self-esteem issues and everything. But just don't worry about it. Just make your content, have fun. If your friends jump into your stream, that's cool. If they don't, talk to them after. You're fine. And those are just some things that I would definitely love to tell people.
Thank you for that. You have to be true to yourself, and
Yeah.
you have to do it because you love it. With anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wish that more people did things because they love it, but I feel like if everybody worked in that way, maybe we wouldn't have certain things to be done. Because believe it or not, there are some people who are meant to not love what they do for a living, and that sucks. It really
Mm-hmm.
sucks. But there's some people who are okay with it. There's some people who are okay with having a 9 to 5 that they don't like. It pays the bills. So at some aspect they like it. They might not like it fully, but it pays the bills. But yeah, just whatever you do, even if it's something that's like things that you have to do when you're done from work. Just make sure it's something that you like. I mean, mind you, you said that you have a job that you normally have to go to, but then you get to do things like this, which is like, okay, well, I do have a job that I normally go to, but when I'm done with that job, I get to do fun things that I like that
Exactly.
balance me, and you need that mental stability and that mental balance. So if you guys are trying to do content creation or anything outside of things that you have to do, make sure that you like doing it. Because I mean, I hate when people sit on stream and they're looking all rotten and stuff, and I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? Oh, nobody's in my stream. Okay, well, are you having a fun time? No. All right, then just cut the stream off and go to sleep. Do something else, because clearly your energy is all wrong. You need to be able to have fun and chill. Like, this is your space. You are the curator of your own space. Whenever you guys do anything that you just choose to do, you are a curator of that space. You can make that space whatever you want it to make. So if you are thinking about going into content creation, understand streamer Twitter is not golden. Half those streamers know nothing anyways, and I'm one of them. Don't know nothing. But you cultivate your own space. You run your stream like how you want to run your stream. If, say, for instance, in the beginning of the stream you want to show off your taekwondo moves before you go and play the game, then show off your taekwondo moves. Like, do different things, have fun with it, because it's all your own space. And just keep going. There's somebody who's going to watch your content. Trust me. If you can get people to watch hot tub streamers, People are going to be okay with you watching content of you yodeling. Okay? All right? They're okay with you putting spoons on your nose and all that stuff. They're okay with you trying to do your nails. Failed attempt the other week. Very bad. But they're okay with it. So just abide by TOS. Abide by TOS. Just do your thing.
I love that. Thank you. I'm feeling all the warm and fuzzies and well, Jay, how can listeners support you?
Money.
Money. Hmm.
So you guys can definitely catch the streams. I stream predominantly on Facebook Gaming at fb.gg/real Janey Laney. That is, one of my things. Of course, follow me on Twitter, help support, because people need their Twitter clout _Janey Laney. And like I said, I do accept money. Like, I'm being so serious. Like, I accept all forms of money. I accept forms of cryptocurrency as well. I found out that that's really a good idea to collect that too. But really, you guys can honestly support just by, being your natural self, accepting content creators of all types, sizes, what have you, and just trying to make the gaming space better for everyone. But like I said, money. I got Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. I have a bank account directly. Like, if you guys bank with Navy Federal, shoot, slide me some cash. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with all forms of money. All right. I even have like an Amazon wish list from time to time. All forms. But really, I just want people just to make life easier for me. Okay. Don't be a butt face when you're playing a game. Don't be racist when you're playing a game. It makes my job easier because then I don't have to rant about it on Twitter because of your poor behavior. All right. So if you did nothing else to help me whatsoever, if you don't slide any money, if you don't follow me, whatever, you can at least support me by not being a butthead. I think that that's enough to ask. And yeah.
I like that. And I love your candor because you are entertaining and you are putting in the work and the energy and you deserve to be rewarded for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I mean, who doesn't like money? Like, who doesn't like to be able to buy whatever they want on Amazon? And Amazon's a very dangerous place for me. But who doesn't like to be able to do it? And I think it's also important for us to realize that, especially during this time of the pandemic, a lot of us are actually people's sources of entertainment. A lot of people have already cut the cord anyways when it comes down to cable and whatnot. Streaming is literally the thing to do. Netflix, right?
Hmm.
People pay for their Netflix subscription, okay, to have access to all of these movies, right? All you could do is watch the movies, okay? I live stream, meaning if somebody types something in chat, I'm being interactive. So I'm going live, creating entertainment, but then I'm also creating interactive entertainment. You could even sometimes play the game with me. So it's just kind of like, why would you guys not? I mean, of course, if you don't have it, you don't have it. I don't mind. I don't really care. But like, if you have it and you have the means to do so, support your content creators because we are literally doing something that you cannot find anywhere else. We are actually giving you guys access because when we become celebrities, right, you guys can actually sit up here and say, wow, I actually got to talk to Janey Laney, like, and type to her, even got to sit in a chat with her, did all of this stuff. You guys are actually getting behind the scene access before we get to being where, at a higher level. That's something that's very exclusive. That's not something that everybody will ever get a chance to do. So
Hmm.
if you guys do know you guys love your favorite content creators in any way, shape, form, or fashion, support them, even if it's just a like and a share on things. Follow them on Twitter. That's one of the best ways you guys can support all of us because anytime we do anything and we post it on Twitter, sometimes we just need a retweet. Retweeting by the right crowd, it gets somewhere. So that's the ways that you guys could actually support all of us. um unless you just want to give us money, you know.
I don't think people realize, I mean, maybe some people realize, but that is a lot of energy and I mean, it's work. It's fun.
It
but
is. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's work.
There's a lot of work that goes by it. And like, you know, I mean, I for one, I don't have like a spouse or anything like that that can help me. I literally do everything myself. I go on Twitter to be like, look, this broke. If anybody can help me, that'd be great. But sometimes they don't respond fast enough, and I just have to figure it out myself. Like there's so many things that content creators go through where it's like, yo, sometimes we are our own like tech support. Like we're constantly having to be our own sound engineer. We're having to do so many things and doing so many jobs at the same time, and especially if we're full time, you know, doing this, that's crazy. There are some people who are full-time streamers and then full-time whatever their normal job is, so they're putting in a lot of work to even stay awake on stream, you know. So we do so much stuff, we push out so much content, we try to make it to be a great environment, and like literally the if somebody could just share our stuff would be great. Just sharing our stuff would be beautiful. It would be great if a celebrity wanted to share all of our things at one given time. That'd be wonderful to get more eyes on it. But literally, even if it's just a share, it would really, really help.
Absolutely. And yeah, where can people find you on Twitter and YouTube?
Yes. So my YouTube channel, if you just type in Janey Laney, that's JANEYLANEY, I'll pop up. Or you can just type in like youtube.com/Janey Laney. I'm the only Janey Laney. If you guys so happen to stumble upon my old channel, that's none of my business. Don't worry about that. Don't ask me about that. Don't ask a single soul. Yes, there is a video of me chasing geese at high school. At my high
I love
school.
it.
Yeah,
I love it. That's so
I was
funny.
chasing. I had my purse too. Like it was funny. Like I had my purse, and I was just like chasing and squawking. If you guys ever find that video, don't ask me about it.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
So you can find me on YouTube. Just like I said, just typing in Janey Laney. And then of course on Twitter _Janey Laney is where you guys can find me. I do constantly change my display name because I troll people a lot. So if you see Clarissa Explains Nothing, that's me. But my handle is like my actual little handle thing is always _Janey Laney. Just any display name could change at any given time. Like I'm changing my display name in about a couple days too. So yeah. But it's still _Janey Laney.
Go by the Twitter handle, everybody. Go by that. For everyone you find on Twitter.
Exactly. For everyone you find on Twitter, go by the handle. Don't go by the display name, because sometimes we choose violence and just change our display names just because, like, you know, we're just like but I do have Janey, and my display name is the Janey Stan account. You know, that
counts.
Yeah, I put Janey Stan account, you know, trying to hype myself up. But yeah, so that's where you guys can find me on social media.
Well, thank you again so much for being a part of the 1v1 series. We've been wanting to get to know you and share your story with people and, you know, your current fans. Maybe some people who listen to this will become fans, anything. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for this, Janey. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you for working with me on this. For those of you guys who don't know, like I said, this has been awaited, you know, and then even still, like I changed the times last minute.
That's okay.
Because I was like, oh dang, like some Minecraft opportunity popped up, but it could only happen at that time. I was like, how? So I messaged you and I was just like, she better not tell me I can't reschedule.
No.
I was just like muttering to myself. I'm like, oh, she's gonna say no. And then you're like, yeah, fine. I'm like, yeah. So
oh no, these can happen whenever whenever we have time, and I appreciate it. And Thank you again. And if you guys listening can find it, you can find us at bossrushgames.com. You can find me at Fairy Crypt on Twitter. We have all kind of shows you can listen to. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.